Hey there, Gold Creek. Welcome to another GC 365. Today is day 126.
Woo!
And I am here with Jessica. And I wanted to introduce you to her today because she has joined our media team upstairs.
Yes. Okay. First of all, hey GC. Thank you, Jacob, for having me here today. I am so excited to be here. My name's Jessica. I'm the new graphic designer here at GC. I recently joined GC last month, actually in April. So, so this week marks like my 4th week being here.
I love it.
I'm so excited. Yes, it's so quick. I just want to say congratulations. You made it to day 126.
Huge. 126 days.
If you're new here, welcome. We're so glad you're here. And it's never too late to sign up for this Bible plan. Right?
You got it.
Yes.
If there was just maybe a fun fact or two about yourself that you could tell everybody, what would it be?
Okay, so fun fact, I'm the only child in the family.
Okay, only child, nice.
Yes, and then second fun fact, I am a huge coffee drinker.
Hey,
I drink
you're in the right area for that.
I'm in the right area. Yep, I just had my 20-ounce coffee this morning.
That's perfect.
Yes, so yeah, grab yourself a cup of coffee at Gold Creek Cafe.
Shout out.
Yes.
No, I love it. Thank you. So we're going to get into today's reading. We are in Ruth, John, Psalms, and of course, Proverbs. But we're going to start out in Ruth 2. And you know, what stuck out to me, kind of the overall idea I got from this chapter was kindness.
Yep.
And what the kindness of the Lord that he gives to us is the kindness that Boaz gave to Ruth.
Yes, exactly.
She came to this place, basically anywhere else she would have been treated horribly.
Yep.
And Boaz treated her with the kindness that God would give us.
Yes, totally. What struck out to me is that's a very good point. I just want to highlight, it's verse 12. So here Boaz says, like, may the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. That's such a great passage here.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, like Ruth too, like they're speaking about Ruth. She meets Boaz in the field while she's like gleaning. So gleaning means like God is providing, like that's a way for God like to provide for the poor. And then Boaz is like a good man of God. He believes that God is always a God of provider, right? So, yep, I think this chapter like totally highlights about like the faithfulness. You can really see about like from Ruth and Boaz too.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's basically like, anywhere else you would go, you're going to be treated poorly, but I will make sure that you are kept safe and you were treated well here.
Yep, and
which is amazing.
That's our God. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
God always provides for us.
No, that's great. And then we jump into, so these three that we got are kind of, they each have their own lesson to give, which is kind of cool. You're following this one story of Ruth. And so we have that in Ruth 2, and then we go to Ruth 3, and this one felt like it was all about being patient and kind of waiting for God to move.
Yes.
And in this, she basically, so she had lost her husband, and she's a widow, and she's with her mother.
Yes.
And she basically, her mom gives her advice to go just lay down with Boaz after he's fallen asleep, and he wakes up and he's like, you know, you've done good. I'm going to go out and try to find somebody to basically help continue your husband's line.
Yes.
And if that won't happen, then I will be the one to take that over and to watch over you and help you continue that line.
Wow.
And she goes home, tells her mom about this, and her mom's like, just be patient.
Yes.
It's going to work out.
Yep. Just be patient. Yes. And I think, thank you for sharing that. I think for me, the highlight was on verse 11. So verse 11 is like Ruth, she was mentioned as a woman of noble character. And that's why she's so patient. She waited on God.
Yes.
She's so faithful. And that's just like the woman in Proverbs 31. You guys might, you know, like you guys know Proverbs 31 women. And then, so I just want to highlight here. So basically the book of Ruth, it happened during like the phase where the judges, when there was no king. So then like people, maybe they're not obeying God, but then Ruth stayed faithful. Because she asked, like, she prayed to God, and then she wants to find someone who is obeying God.
Sure.
That's why it's like about patience. And I think talking a little bit about patience, I really learned a lot about, you know, like being patient, just waiting on the Lord, waiting for his timing. So if you're ever like in a waiting season, maybe you're waiting for something, you're waiting to get a job or waiting for anything specific in your life, you just have to be faithful and, you know, just wait on God and he'll provide for you.
Yeah, as we can see, it definitely works out because we jump into Ruth 4 from there.
Yep.
And Boaz basically takes on Ruth. to continue that line, and brings the town in to witness this ceremony happen, and it just it works out for her in the end, which is incredible to see.
Yes, and then for like in Ruth 4, so finally like Boaz marries Ruth, and then later they have a child named Obed. So I think in this like closing chapter of like Ruth chapter 4, we can see like how a tragedy at first for like, you know, the family,
100%.
for Ruth, which leads to like loyalty, like her faithfulness, her patience, and just like in the waiting season for God. And then which leads to family's final restoration.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And I've seen this idea pop up multiple times in the Bible, and this is another one where just doing some research on Ruth, where it pops up is Ruth is an unlikely hero, someone who most would expect would not be used by God, but is used by God because she's one of the most unexpected people. And so it's just one of those things. It's a common theme is God uses the most unlikely that we would think. People. It's
totally. Yep. And I think not only like unexpected people, but also in the unexpected like circumstances or like timing.
That's
you know, sometimes like there's a lot of times in my life where God works in like the most mysterious ways, unexpected ways. And I was like, okay, God, you're doing it. Yeah, you did it. Yes. And then you're just like realizing how much like he provides for you and cares for you and like the most unexpected and uncertain times, right?
No, that's awesome. Yes. That's perfect. All right, so we've covered Old Testament. Let's jump into the New Testament here. Yes. And we are in John. And this one, it always cracks me up when you start to see kind of a little bit more of an annoyed personality come out from Jesus. In this one, Jesus heals a government official's son. And it's funny to me because when the official comes, he's like, my son is going to die. I need your help. I need you to come. And God's like, do people just only want to see miracles? Is that all? Basically, is that all I'm good for here? And then he says, go home. Your son's healed. And he goes home and his son is better. And another part of that stuck out to me was I don't remember it happening too often where Jesus performs a miracle without actually being present. In that spot. Where there was a few times where he healed somebody, but he was there. They touched his robe or he went there and he was physically present when it happened. But here he's like, go home. Your son's healed.
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
Yes. Wow. That's amazing. Well, when I read through this chapter specifically, I think the highlight was on verse 48. I'm just going to read it. So, unless you people see signs and wonders, Jesus told him, you will never believe.
There it is.
That hit me because I think sometimes I wouldn't just like believe on the things unseen. Like I need a proof, like a concrete proof for me to believe like, okay, this is happening. Okay, this is happening. But then Jesus was like, hey, your son's healed. Go home. Your son's healed. That's just amazing how he can perform like miracles by words and by his sayings. And he's a great guy.
Oh, it was just a fun one to read. A little bit of humor in there. All right, so we're going to jump into Psalms really quick and then we'll finish out with Proverbs. For me, this Psalms was kind of interesting. It was basically, it seemed like a retelling of these fantastic stories that we got in the Old Testament with God's people and just how he had brought them through so many different paths of life and different areas. And so it was just cool to kind of get this recap of what we had read not too long ago. And then I know you had something for Proverbs.
Yes. So I think Proverbs was one of my like favorite books in the Bible to read. That like it contains so many like good words and prophets by Jesus. And I think for Proverbs 14, we're touching on verse 26 and 27. So for verse 27, the fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, turning a person from the snares of death. And I think this relates to the story of Ruth, you know, like we touched upon like earlier, like about a fear of the Lord. And, you know, like fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
That's great.
So I think all of us like needs to like own the starting of like fearing of the Lord. Like fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And then, you know, like as I learned like here in my like growing spiritually, like in faith, I need like wisdom, you know, to in order to like make decisions, continue to be able to like strive in Jesus. And that's just a great point. I think and verse 26 too, like whoever fears the Lord has a secure fortress. Like secure fortress. That's so great. And I think secure fortress means like, okay, God is providing you security for like the rest of your life. He's protecting you, like Psalms 91, I think, like when that whole passage about like God's protecting you from like the death and the snares and the sickness and everything.
Sure.
And I think like God is also like protecting us throughout like this years of like the coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been protecting all of us, so be grateful for that.
Yeah, and I think it's, I want to make an important thing here. When it says to fear the Lord, it doesn't mean that you need to be afraid. It's more of a respect.
Sometimes I got that wrong.
Yeah, and it's easy to sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, and in a lot of reading the Bible, there's some parts where it's like, oh my gosh, God can be kind of scary at times. But when you see that fear of the Lord, it's more of a respect. Like you ultimately look up to everything they have to say. Exactly. Yes. So, well, that was great. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for being with us today for day 126. I hope you had a great May the 4th and a great Cinco de Mayo. Woo-hoo. And I hope you'll join us again tomorrow.
Yep.
Thank you.
See you soon. Bye.